Okay, just writing down documenting some notes while I'm sitting here thinking. So the New Testament, so Jesus come in the New Testament to reverse the curse. So the curse, what is the curse? The curse of man. So that must be the Old Testament. So the Old Testament, I just got really busy. So if we look at the Old Testament is talking about our genes, it's talking about our body, it's talking about our emotions, it's talking about the laws, it's talking about the tribes, right? Okay. The tribes are probably different types of people, um, different nationalities, that type of thing. Um, so reverse the curse. So I can't quite remember. I know I'm sitting there thinking because I was thinking to myself about in the New Testament. I think there's something written about it in the New Testament, but I can't quite remember if it was the New Testament or the Old Testament. Something about least something not be cursed, least you not be cursed, possibly, or something. Um, so I'm looking at the word cursed. Cursed is like a spell or a cursed. Um, when I'm thinking of the word, it's like this casket is coming into my mind. And then I'm seeing from the casket is the body, our body, because our body is the shell that holds our soul light within it. It's like saying our soul light is trapped within this body until time of release or move on or, you know, move into the new heaven, new earth, new body kind of like thing. However that may go. But so when I was thinking about, and then they say Jesus is the only way. So I wonder if Jesus's parables are kind of like spell reversals from what the Old Testament told us, described to us. But yet there's a part in the New Testament that Jesus says not to forget about the laws of Moses or something to that effect. So that would be the Torah. So in which all Judaism is about the Torah, but they mention, I think it's called the Talmud, Talmud, or something like that, the Jewish law. And then Islam, I think it's the Quran. Okay. Very interesting stuff. So I was like thinking, reverse the curse. Okay, so I wonder if reverse the curse means, since the Old Testament is about everything that we can see with our physical eyes, touch, hear, see, it's about the body, right? It's about this physical world. But reversing the curse is like saying, bringing our soul out over our body and having our body lead, or having our soul lead our body. So it's like we're reversing the curse. The curse right now is that we can only see with our two eyes, sense and feel. The intuition, the common sense. It's like when I was mentioning about the three brains. We have the emotional brain, we have the reptilian brain or the dragon brain. And if you look at it, it's scales, which is scales is like two fish, right, which is our feet, but the scales is like Libra. It's like the balancing scales. Picture these eyeballs as two dishes. Um, and then, of course, our left brain is the lymphatic brain that has a cord that runs all the way down our spine that kind of looks like a serpent going up the tree of life, which is our spine, our C spine. So the New Testament is about reversing the curse. And I wonder if that's why a lot of people hang themselves, not only because of money, because I think it was Judah He got the some type of 30 shocklings or something like that, silver or whatever it was, and found out, that they were going to mistreat Jesus, and he went back to the priest and he threw the money back at him inside the church, at their church. And he says, "I don't want this money." He goes, I guess, I'm not sure how the story quite goes, but it's like, I think he was betrayed by them to give up Jesus to them. Because that's usually how it is. The dark usually betrays the people or misleads them, especially when people need money, and people can be enticed by money. And again, that's probably another reason why money is the root of all evil, because money um, goes into creates a sin, another sin along the way, or whatever it is. But anyway, I just wanted to document this while these thoughts were coming to my mind. I'm like thinking, okay, I left my writing pad at home. I have one in the car here, but I don't want to write on it. I figure I'd just make a video about it, because I may even post this. So, and get people's feedback. What do you guys think about it? Do you think reversing the curse, I mean, for each individual, it's like when we come into, when you think about curse, I think it was Scooby-Doo Incorporated, one of their end time ones, where it's got Elvira in it, Scooby-Doo Halloween or something like that. And the characters are like the original characters from the 70s. And then they have Elvira in it. And I think they have, they have Dr. Nye in it too. Dr. Nye drops a box from the sky with, from a parachute, and it opens up into this new van for them because their other van gets destroyed. So that's pretty interesting too. It's just like saying, if you look at the Scooby-Doo Incorporated van, the bus is like, it houses, so it's like the bus, we are the bus. We have Scooby-Doo, the dog senses. We got Fred, like the prince. Daphne, she's a princess, she's like the diaphragm, Daphne. And Thelma, she's like the AI system. Scooby, is, of course, the dog senses, and there's Shaggy. Shaggy's like the sun, the light. Cool, man. But that's like, it's representing all these detectives like in one body, one bus. And so it's quite interesting how that bus gets destroyed and they're left without a body. So when I look at it symbolically, it's like they're floating around until out of the heavens to the sky come this box, and it opened up to a van that they can drive. So they jump in the van, and it's just like a totally gray van is all it is. And it has all these fancies, and it's hologram with Dr. Nye telling him, this and all the things about how he created the van. And then it says something about arming or whatever, firing back. So they're trying to fire back at like these crazy pumpkin-looking things. And so they hit the fire weapon, right? And these weapons come out, but then they shut down. And when they shut down, the van starts to shut down and everything, So the weapons that they had installed in the van didn't work. But anyway, that's just a little sample of it. Yeah, and Elvira's in it too. It's really quite interesting because at the end, Elvira takes off her face mask. Remember, like I was showing you videos where they're showing like actors and stars, and even have CIA movies with like Tom Cruise in it, where they have these actual face masks, rubber masks that they can put on, and it looks actually like somebody else perfectly. And so that's what she does. She pulls it off, and she's an alien with 3 eyes. I thought that was quite interesting. And at the end of it, where she reveals herself with the 3 eyes, they're on their way to see Mr. E. And Mr. E is like this really short character guy with these ball cap that says E on it, and he's got this whole buffet feast, right? It's really quite interesting. And there's uh, the Flintstones, Fred from the Flintstones. It's kind of like saying everything that had a Fred in it. Uh, like Fred Flintstone, Fred from Scooby Doo. Uh, uh, I think there was a Fred from another that space kind of like Scooby Doo kind of character as well. Um, but anyway, there was a big party for all the Freds, um, and Fred means king, prince or king. Kind of interesting. I wonder if that's saying the elect. All the elects are considered Fred, and then I wonder if that goes back to uh, like the reason for John coming into this world. We come into this world naked. We come into this world with no name, like John Doe. So you got Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti. So you got the doe, the deer, the female deer, which is Jan. But when they, take you and they book you, or they, do all this stuff and you don't give them your name, they call you a John Doe or Jane Doe, depending on your sex. Oh, and then somebody was doing some type of trivia thing, and they're like, "So what's the name of our galaxy?" And just the girl goes, "The Milky Way." And all of a sudden, I started writing it down, because this is the Milky Way. It's right down the center of us. We got the pituitary gland, which is the milky hormones, and at the other end of it, we have the pineal gland, which is the honey, right? So you got the yellow and the white. You go down to the male privates, which is the XY chromosome, right? And you've got the semen that gives life, and you have the urine, right? Which looks like the color of honey or yellow. And then through your belly, I think even the acid in our stomach might be white as well, or something like that. But it's all representing the Milky Way coming straight down the center of our body, because we're the mere reflection of the. So if you look at the word galaxy, GA represents the third letter, which is gamma, and then LA is law. Law is the sixth candlestick, and then XY is the male chromosome. So gamma, lambda, atom, or the male chromosome, XY chromosome. So anyway, I just want to do a quick update. It's been cloudy. It kind of rained a little bit or sprinkled this morning. So the weather's changing. I seen something on the weather app about rains coming and winds coming. I was just talking to my brother about that yesterday when I went out and seen him. How he noticed that the air in the morning's a lot cooler, and then the evenings getting cooler, and you can smell in the air. You can kind of smell rain. I don't know, or moisture in the air. So it's very interesting how even life. I think that's another reason why the Christogram, the XP experience points, is the longer you experience, the more you look, the more you observe your surroundings, the more you sense year after year of what's coming, what isn't coming. It makes a lot of sense, because now I know why my grandmother she always knew when lightning was coming. She always knew when the rain was coming. She always knew when it was going to be a really hot day, which direction the wind was going. She always licked her finger and stuck it up in the air. My grandfather, he dig his own wells. He had remember I was telling you that dowsing stick, which is like a Y. It's a branch off the tree, and he'd find a well every time. He'd find natural springs all over the property. And he had like 7 properties, and every one of his properties, he found the whale that way. He was really good at that. And I think possibly those genes are passed down into, the children and passed down. And I think that's where a lot of my intuition and stuff is, because I feel that through the bloodlines and stuff like that, wherever you're born into, whatever smarts or whatever they've learned has been passed down or encoded into your genes, or have been in your genes, but maybe waking them up is discovering them, and it activates them. And maybe that's another life experience and reason. There's so many things that I didn't even think about 20 years ago. Of it's like, oh, life is boring. Is this all there is? And then start asking God, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. And the next thing you know, more starts coming and more starts coming and more. And even to this moment, I mean, more starts coming. So, and that's one thing that we really need to be grateful for. Okay, I'd share that because I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. Um, I'm grateful for sitting here at the park right now, having a cup of coffee, trying to smoke a cigarette, but it keeps going out, which is probably a good thing. And just listening to the birds. Sure, there's traffic going by, but once I start reading, it's kind of like I drowned it out. It's just like at my house, I can drown out the train that's going, that's right over there, because I'm used to it. But the child upstairs who bounces things off the floor and rolls cans across the floor, constantly, I'm just like, oh, please just let this be a phase.